Okay, hello and welcome to At the Movies with Dante and Lewis. I'm Lewis Jacobs.
And I'm Dante DeLille.
He is Dante DeLille. And today we are going to be talking about Black Widow, which is the latest offering from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's in theaters now. It's directed by Kate Shortland, and everyone is all abuzz about this film. All of the Marvel people, and then lots of other people too, who have just been desperate in their homes watching things on TV, and now they're going to the theaters. And this was my first movie back, in the theaters. Dante, thank you for forcing me to have that experience. Anyway, do you want to give us your synopsis?
Yeah, so the IMDb synopsis is Natasha Romanoff confronts the dark parts of her ledger when a dangerous conspiracy that ties to her past arises.
It's dangerous. It's dangerous, that's for sure. So I'll jump right in with the cast and executive producer. Natasha Romanoff is played by Scarlett Johansson. I'm curious as to why. Well, she has been playing the role correctly in previous Marvel pictures.
Yeah, since Iron Man 2 in 2010 was her first appearance.
So she decided to just work this for everything it's worth. So what do you have to say about Scarlett?
Yeah, she was first introduced in Iron Man 2, and her character, Natasha Romanoff, was kind of just like eye candy, pretty much. Cut to 2012. The Avengers, the culmination of like the first phase of the MCU. She's in there and she was written amazingly. I thought her performance was great in that. She's gone on to play her in Captain America Winter Soldier, which is one of my favorite, I think still my favorite Black Widow movies. Unfortunately, it's not her movie. And this one, it's her big solo movie. It's been in development for years and years, like since 2010, they've been trying to do this. And I think it's just the writing. The writers on those two movies, Captain America Winter Soldier, the Russo brothers, I think they did such a great job with her character and making her kind of like funny and snarky, and also this spy. In this movie, I just find she's kind of boring. There's not a lot to her, and she's the titular character. I mean, Scarlett Johansson does the best with what she has, but there's not a lot there. And it's kind of disappointing that she's not the highlight of the movie for me.
It absolutely is. So then you have another character in the piece, which is sort of her sister, Natasha's sister, Elena, played by Florence Pugh, and she, to me, is amazing, far more interesting than other people. She's got such a resume. She's done Lady Macbeth. She was in Little Women. So here she is, all hair braided up and being a wild Russian person, and she's tough, and she provided a little bit of comedy. What did you think of her?
Yeah, I think she's the standout in this movie. I saw her in Midsummer before. I didn't love that movie. I thought she was fine. In this, she was like, I loved her character. I loved her performance. I loved the comic relief that she brings. Yes. There's this running joke where she keeps on making fun of Black Widow about the poses that she does.
The way she lands. Yes.
Yeah.
It's great. I laughed out loud.
Yeah. I thought she was great. She was the highlight of the movie.
David Harbour is Alexei. We, of course, know him from Stranger Things. And now he is the Russian Captain America? Russia?
Red Guardian.
Red Guardian. So he's got some great stuff as far as I'm concerned. He provides even more comedy to an otherwise unfunny film. I guess not that it's supposed to be funny, but to me, because you're in a fantasy world, there has to be comedy, because we're watching a non-reality, right? We're watching something that doesn't sort of really exist in our world as far as we know. So David Harbour is great. What did you think of him and his in all of his Russianness?
Yeah, like I would love to see this character again come back. I thought he was an interesting character because you start with him at a certain point in his life, and then we pick up in the present, or well, in 2016, we pick up with him, and he's kind of let himself go. It's shown in the trailer. Somebody says, "Oh, you got fat." when he puts on his like iconic costume.
And then finally on my list is Rachel Weisz. She's the Melania character. Melina, sorry. We know Rachel Weisz from The Mummy and millions of other films. So her in this sort of Russian mother figure character was interesting to me.
Yeah. I think out of all four of them, she gets the least amount to do in the film.
Sure.
I think that's what kind of like doesn't, she's not my favorite character. She's an actress that I think she's really good. She's a good actress, and she's also good in action films. But yeah, in this movie, she gets like, some dramatic scenes, and she gets a little more action scenes, but not enough. I thought her performance was fine.
Okay, that's the cast. Who else did you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think the only other person, Ray Winstone, he's playing Harvey Weinstein. No, not Harvey Weinstein. He's playing Dreykov, the bad guy, who's very much a stand-in, I found, for Harvey Weinstein.
I am so impressed, Dante DeLille.
For me, I think it's like kind of an afterthought of a movie. To me, it felt like, spoiler alert for Avengers Endgame, but the character of Black Widow, Natasha Romanoff, dies in that film. And this takes place before that. So it kind of felt to me like the writers and the people behind all this were like, oh crap, we can make a Black Widow movie, but we got to do it now, and we got to do it after she's dead, and try to figure out a way to make it fit into this universe, when they should have did this back, like, I don't know, 2010 or whatever. They should have done it a long time ago. And I feel like this movie's kind of an afterthought and kind of unimportant to the whole universe.
I would agree. I would have said exactly that. That's in fact what I was going to say. I did have some favorite parts to the film, and those were some of the action scenes, because basically to me the film is about CGI action scenes that are sort of held together loosely by this sort of dysfunctional family kind of situation with a little bit of sibling rivalry. But there's a car chase scene in Budapest when the girls first come together that is kind of fun. It's the first time, although I can think of a million better car chase scenes in this, but in this film, that was fun. Also, there's a prison escape scene. With a helicopter, that to me, where David Harbour has a stunt double all over the place. Well, they all do, but it's shot, and it's all CGI, and then there's that thing that happens with and then of course the finale to me provided enough fun where I actually didn't leave the theater.
Despite the story finding the story not working, too well, it wasn't that interesting. Marvel, even the worst movies, their action is reliable. It's always fun, entertaining. I like that car chase. I like I think the snow-bound prison escape was good. I think that's my favorite scene in the film.
It was good. And it starts off really strong with the arm wrestling tournament with Dave, which was just bonkers. So then that's the first time you see that Alexei after many years, and it's just incredible to see what he has turned into.
But yeah, this movie is a mashup of, I find, the Bourne films, and kind of like it's a spy movie, so you think Bond right away. Also, there's like a quick throwaway to Moonraker, and that kind of like sets up as a little hint to something to come. I think those movies do it better.
Right. So coming into this film, me being a non-Marvel Cinematic Universe type person, although I do see the films when I'm forced to by Dante. There are great, like I said, great action scenes that I had fun with, but I'm not compelled by the film simply because I don't care about these people. Even though David Harbour is being funny and Florence Pugh is being kind of funny and Rachel Weisz is being beautiful, and Scarlett Johansson, I don't know what she's being. So with that, I'll ask you, what would you say about recommending or not recommending?
Yeah, so I think it's too little too late for this Black Widow movie. You know, Black Widow should have been the first female-led superhero movie. It should have been, you know, because she debuted in 2010. It should have been the first one. Unfortunately, it doesn't do as great service to its titular character as Wonder Woman did or Captain Marvel. You know, the highlight of this movie isn't Scarlett Johansson. It's Florence Pugh, which is fine, but, you know, it should be Scarlett Johansson. It's an okay film. It's kind of like extra homework, I would say, for the Marvel Universe, because if you don't watch it, you're not really missing out anything. But if you want that extra bit, it's there. I would say skip it. I would say not recommend. Go watch something else, you know, any other movie. Go watch, like, even if you don't want to go out, watch Loki, the TV show. That is amazing. MCU TV show. It's very important to the universe. Watch that. If you want something good with Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, watch Captain America, The Winter Soldier, Avengers, or any of those other movies besides Iron Man 2. So yeah, not recommend. What would you say? I
would say barely recommend. Barely recommend because of the action scenes and because you need to get your butts out of the houses to see a movie. We've been locked up for so long. Wear a mask, wear armor if you want, sit 10 feet away if you want. So that was our discussion of Black Widow starring movie star Scarlett Johansson. It's in theaters now.
Yeah, and it's on Disney Plus Premier Access, so it's also there.
Thanks, Dante. If you want to see this film, you've got options. Thank you for joining us today for At the Movies with Dante and Lewis. I'm Lewis Jacobs.
And I'm Dante DeLille.
And we'll see you next time.
Anna.